Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bendy. And here on this channel, we practice flexibility of the mind, the body, and the spirit. A couple of things before we get into today's video. Script Your Way into a New Reality is out now. This is my scripting journal. If you would like to deepen your scripting practice or your manifesting practice through scripting, you can order my journal. It has a comprehensive guide on how to script in the front. And it also has some tips and tricks throughout it that teach you how to connect more to your scripting practice and understand how you're raising your vibration through scripting. If you're interested, the link is in the bio. Number 2, scripting journal giveaway. Every month I give away one scripting journal, and all you got to do to enter is comment, engage on the channel, become part of the community. Also, last month's winner is April Goodwin Crawford. So if you are April, please check the description box on how to claim your journal, and I will send that right out to you. Last but not least, I am asked pretty consistently what books I recommend for one's spiritual journey. So I have created a 10-item list of the top 10 books I recommend for if you are starting your journey or if you're feeling stuck on your journey, and you can check that down in the description box. All of the books are, all of the links are affiliate links. So if you buy a book from that list, you are helping to support the channel. All right. I think that was the quickest I've ever done that. So I'm really excited about today's video. Try to center myself. It's a good one. I think that things are kind of weird right now in the collective. Not even just talking about our country, not even talking about North America, but just talking about the world. Things are just kind of bizarre right now. It's kind of like we've all been in this relationship as a collective with reality, and we're just really unsure. And one day things are going good, and then the next day things are just not going as well. And it's just like being in a really inconsistent romantic relationship. The grounding, the foundation, it doesn't really feel like it's quite there. And I personally believe a big part of that is faith. The majority of people in our collective struggle with having a foundation in faith. And I also believe that a big part of it is knowing how to be present. I think that having faith is a part of your belief system, what you believe you're having faith in. And we can talk about that another day if that's something you guys would like to discuss. But today I want to talk about being present. As far as our faith goes, if we are switching to a belief system where we choose to believe that we have faith in this universe, in source, in our current circumstances, and we're coming from a belief system where that was not, where we didn't believe that that was true before, we are making a change. And in order to manifest anything, you have to change your belief system. And the only way to change your belief system is through being present enough to feel when your vibration goes from the vibration that you've curated in order to attract what you want. You know, we do that through scripting, affirmations, visualization. We raise our vibration, see what we want, hold the vibration within us. And the being present comes in when our old programs, our old beliefs, our old thought patterns start to creep in subconsciously, and then we slip back into our old vibration. Being present allows us to say, hey, something's going on. Let me use my tools so that I can maintain the vibration that better serves me. The reason that I brought up the collective is because I want to remind you guys that where attention goes, energy flows. So if you are dealing with a current circumstance that is traumatic or is simply changing your reality in a huge way, please disregard this message. This message is not for you. If you are transitioning right now, then you have to deal with that. You can't bypass that. But I think that in other cases, it's very important to know the difference between when you're currently going through something and when you let past circumstances control where your attention is going. We have to remember that our brain rarely celebrates wins, but it always brings up losses. It always brings up past situations where we have felt like we were in danger, where we felt like we were taken advantage of, where we felt like we were just generally wronged. Those are the situations that stay in the front of our mind, situations where we felt like we've messed up, situations where we felt like we've embarrassed ourselves. Those situations, the situations that make you feel unsafe, are the situations that stay at the front of your mind. So it takes action. It does not happen on its own. It takes being present, and it takes doing literal work in the present moment to say, old beliefs patterns are coming up from things I went through in the past. Let me switch to the higher vibration. Or in this moment, let me attempt to hold a higher vibration. Because when we are feeling that our vibration is lowering, because we've done the work, we're at a high place, we wake up in the morning, do our morning routine, and then because of old programs, we feel our vibration going down. Even if we don't necessarily get back to the highest vibration that we've ever been at, by simply being aware and present in the moment and feeling that your vibration has gone down and doing whatever you can in that moment to intercept and raise your vibration, that's changing your neural pathways. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. I do law of attraction videos. I make law of attraction videos because law of attraction states that whatever you put out, you get back. Whatever you put out, you get more of. When you think of something and when you put momentum behind that thought, those thoughts begin to create themselves in your mind. That creates your mental state. Just like when you're in a bad mood and it starts with something small and you begin to go down the rabbit hole of all the different thoughts that align with that vibration, it works for the positive too. So being present is necessary for learning and understanding how to control one's thoughts. Being present is necessary. It's the only way you can learn how to control what a lot of people refer to as the monkey mind. Okay. So the second thing that I want to talk about is my anxiety being my superpower. I'm going to make a whole video about this, but this is just one point that I wanted to give. My social anxiety has become my superpower in a couple of ways, but the ways that I want to talk about in today's video is it forces me to be present. I have different tools in I have a lot. I have a lot of tools in my toolbox for being present. And I don't even feel like beating around the bush. If I didn't learn these tools, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be here right now. You wouldn't have Brown and Bendy. When you suffer from an anxiety disorder and it is serious, where you can barely function because your mind's replaying scenarios from the past, it becomes so debilitating, and it affects all your relationships. It affects all your current circumstances. It affects the way you go to work. It affects the way you are, even when you're sitting alone by yourself. There's no peace anywhere. Like we just said, the brain does not replay our wins. The brain replays our losses. So when you have an anxiety disorder and you do not have any knowledge of how to escape that disorder, the brain can convince you that there is no hope for the future. There is no hope that things will ever be different, things will ever change. All your past events are so convincing and teach you that this is the only way life will ever be. And I found the law of attraction at the perfect time in my life. So the reason that I brought this up is I want to explain that being present goes hand in hand with anxiety. The only reason we are anxious, the only reason that we begin to get into our heads and mull things over to the point where we're not seeing what's right in front of us, is because something has happened in the past to convince us that we should not be in the present moment. So when we are constantly living in the past, what are we manifesting? More of the past. So when we say, okay, I know there is more for me. I don't know how to get it. I don't know how it feels. Something that's repeated a lot in Christianity is all it takes is faith of a mustard seed, the smallest bit of faith. And it's true. It's true. You don't have to have all the answers. And no, this is not an ad for Christianity. Y'all know, just I've been vibing with it lately. But the faith aspect, it's true. You don't have to know how you're going to get there. You don't have to know how life's going to be better. You don't have to know how it's going to feel, what it's going to look like. You don't have to know any of that. All you have to know A small part of your heart has to believe that there is better for you. And when you believe that, and then your internal state starts to drop, your vibration starts to drop because of all the heavy, scary subconscious beliefs that you have, you're able to say, there is better for me, and hold on to that. But it takes being present. So all this to say, I know that the world is in a very scary place right now. And I am a big believer in not fearing anything, because what does fear ever add? What does fear ever add to a situation? I do know that our initial response as humans, as mammals, can be fear so that we can be prepared to protect ourselves. But when we're living in perpetual states of fear, that's when we have to be present and say, this does not serve me. So please, please, please just be aware of the fear language that you are consuming, listening to, observing, and ultimately internalizing, and make sure that you are being present enough to observe it if you must, but not internalize it to the point where it changes your belief system into believing that things are not going to work out, because what we believe is what happens. I need to make a whole nother video about how we all live in different universes and on different dimensional planes. But yeah, so how to be present. Yeah, I give you guys the answer. I give you guys the answer to all of it. So I have 3 different techniques. The practice of being present is pretty much like putting your brain through boot camp, depending on where you are. So I'm going to go from the most intense to the easiest. I don't know. I think they're all pretty easy. They're all pretty easy in concept, right? It's just practicing it. So the first one's going to be super weird. I'm going to stare at you and I'm going to talk to you. And what I want you to do is practice staying with me. Just practice staying with me. And as thoughts come up, practice telling yourself, I can think about that when I'm done. I can think about that when I'm done. And then just focus on staying with me. Okay, are you ready? Hi. So breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and settle. Listen to the sound of my voice and stay with me here in this moment. Observe what your ears hear, what you hear in your environment, and stay with me. Stay with me, stay with my voice. Observe what it feels like to sit in the seat that you're sitting in. Is it soft? Stay with me. Stay with my voice. Is it comfortable? How does it feel to breathe? How does it feel when your chest rises as you inhale? Do you feel your rib cage expanding? Stay with me. As you exhale, do you feel your rib cage contracting? Listening to the sound of my voice, feel this present moment. Feel it. Become aware of it. Look through your eyes. What do you see? How does it feel to use your vision? What do you smell right now? Stay with me, stay with me, stay with my voice. Stay with me here in this moment. We're almost done. Breathing. Finding calm. Finding peace. And relaxing in 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to say that that is the least intense. So none of these are intense. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I guess I'm thinking about where I was a few years ago and the difficulty that I would have had with these exercises then. But the purpose of that first exercise is that if you have a lot of trauma, like a lot, it's not funny. It's just what we humans go through. If you have a lot of trauma, being present for 5 seconds can be torture, because when you have a lot of trauma, your brain must find a way to cope so that you can function, or what we like to think is functioning. So when we are still, I personally believe that the brain always wants to heal itself. The brain always wants to resolve all of the beliefs, all of the poison that we keep in our mind so that we can understand that everything is love and everything is simple. And that's why I personally believe that when we're in moments of stillness, all the trauma comes up, everything comes up, and it becomes so scary to be still and be silent. So that first exercise, come back to it whenever you need it, if that's the place you're in and you just want to learn how to be present, whether like a minute 30, if you want to just learn how to be present for a minute 30 and listen to my voice and have the reminder to stay with me in the moment. I've been trying to practice being present as much as I can, especially lately. And that stay with me or stay in the moment is something you can tell yourself when you are in a conversation, when you are watching television, when you are listening to a podcast, things that are kind of passive that give you the opportunity to let your mind roam, start training your mind to stay present in the moment. That way, you're able to build up this strength against traumatic thoughts, intrusive thoughts. And when you are ready to deal with those thoughts, because you've done this boot camp, when you're ready to deal with the traumatic thoughts, you're able to feel a bit safer because you don't have to be so afraid of how your subconscious is going to bring up your shadow, bring up your trauma. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is so simple. I recommend doing it for about 2 minutes to strengthen your ability to be present. You can put a timer on your phone. And what it is just inhaling and exhaling for counts of 3 and finding a rhythm in your breath. So I will count for you, but if you do it by yourself, I recommend doing it in silence and hearing yourself in your mind. So inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 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 inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. Okay. So I'm sure you can see how, if you're doing that on your own, how thoughts can start to bubble up and take your attention away from what you are doing. So what I would suggest for that specific exercise is setting a timer. And if it becomes too overwhelming to stay in the exercise, stop it. You do not have to force yourself to get to 2 minutes. But the more you practice, what does practice mean? Practice means to evolve in the skill of something. So if you practice, you will be able to do this for longer periods of time. So I suggest putting on a timer and practice that rhythmic breathing. And while you're practicing that rhythmic breathing, noticing as thoughts come up and letting them just pass by like clouds in the sky. One of my favorite quotes that I used to say all the time when I was teaching yoga classes in person is that the brain secretes thoughts the way the tongue secretes saliva. That doesn't mean the thoughts mean anything. And I love that quote. Okay, last one. So the last exercise that I want to suggest, and this is the exercise that saved my life, that taught me how to be in the present moment without feeling too woo-woo, without feeling like I'm meditating. Counting to 60. I was only able to start by counting to 10. So start where you are. Start where you are. But what I mean is sitting in silence, sitting still, and counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're doing this in silence by yourself. And it's the same practice. As thoughts come up, letting them pass. As thoughts come up, letting them pass. By practicing this and by doing this, you're going to be able to literally feel how strong of a hold these thoughts have on you. And when you realize that these thoughts are from the past, again, if you're not currently going through a situation, when you realize that these thoughts are from the past, you're able to make a more conscious choice about how you want to conduct your thoughts and how you want your mental house to look, right? because it's almost spring and it's going to be time to do some spring cleaning soon, you know? So what mom, what? But yeah. So I have no idea how long this video is, but I feel like this is one of my favorite videos that I've ever made. I really do, because being present saved my life. And The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, who I've been watching some of his videos lately. I took such a long break. I don't know, I just got distracted from him and his work, but he's my favorite. He's my favorite. The Power of Now is such a great book. I believe it's on the list. So yeah, that is it for this video. If you liked this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up so everybody on the YouTube platform knows that it is valuable. And also, if you know someone who's really struggling with anxiety, you know, maybe don't share this video with them because it might trigger them, but maybe breathe with them. Maybe breathe with them. If you'd like me to expand on anything that I've talked about in today's video, let me know down below in the comment box. April Goodwin Crawford, please check the description box to know how to claim your free scripting journal. Last but not least, if you would like to be notified when I come out with a new video, please make sure that you click the subscribe button and that you click that notification bell. And then you will join the Bendy Bunch and become a reality bender yourself. I got that backwards, but it's fine because it is lit here and you still know what to do. You still know what to do to be a part of this beautiful community. I love you so much, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, my loves. Au revoir.